It's that time once again. It's the beginning of a new month, so it's time to recap last month. I'm giving you my top 10 favorite first time watches of the month of April. I watched tons of movies, so let's freaking go. At number 10, 7 Psychopaths. 7 Psychopaths has such a solid cast, and the trio of Colin Farrell, Sam Rockwell, and Christopher Walken, they work so well together. I really dig movies where we get introduced to colorful and violent characters with a touch of backstory to them. The dog borrowing business that Billy and Hans have is pretty funny. Woody Harrelson's love for his dog was also great. Woody Harrelson as our main villain was definitely another highlight for this movie. The scene with him in Myra's hospital room was done so well. Really tense moment right there. The story of the Quaker and the whole slit throat thing was so good, and then it gets brought up again later, but there's like a reveal attached to it, and it's so damn cool. There's tons of fun action in this, and there are several laughs to be had. The ending does sort of drag a tiny bit, like once they're in the desert. Other than that, I don't really have any complaints about this movie, and I've been on a bit of a Colin Farrell kick recently, so I've been enjoying the movies he's been in. Number 9, Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. This was just a good comedy. Anchorman is so silly, it's so dumb, but in all of the best ways. The scene where Farrell, Rudd, Carell, and Koshner are all singing Afternoon Delight is one of the greatest things I think I've ever watched.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
That scene played over and over in my head for like a week.
Afternoon delight.
Some recent Will Ferrell comedies have been really hit and miss, but he's like in his element in Anchorman. Paul Rudd is one of my favorite actors. I love that guy, so it was obviously good to see him in this. Then there's David Koshner, which sometimes the characters that he plays, they can be a bit annoying, but I think his character Champ has a nice balance of loud and sincere. He gets pretty vulnerable and opens up with Ron a few times. And then we have Steve Carell. Brick says like 5 full sentences in this movie, but he might be the best character. The huge fight with all of the news teams in that alley was really funny, and it is just pretty violent too at some points. I wasn't sure if I was even gonna like Anchorman because it just had the vibe of the characters are gonna be more obnoxious than funny, but I am glad I was wrong. Number 8, 7. Almost had this movie at the perfect spot on this list. 7 has been on my watch list for so long, and I finally watched it last month. I couldn't sleep one random Saturday, so I put this on at like 4 a.m., and I am so happy that it lived up to my expectations. I've loved all of the David Fincher movies I've seen, except for you, Alien 3. Get out of here. It's always great to see stressed out detectives trying to figure out a case of theirs, and this is top notch right here. The feeling that the movie gives you the more it goes on, especially the last 20 minutes, from when John Doe shows up at the police station, and the drive all the way out to the middle of nowhere, I was on the edge of my seat. I've seen the what's in the box moment numerous times, but never the full scene, and what a treat it was. In my opinion, 7 has a great ending. Would I love to see a tiny bit more? Sure, but what we get still slaps. The use of the 7 deadly sins is really cool. Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt don't have the best chemistry, but they have some fun moments. The apartment chase is pretty sick. While it's not nearly my favorite Fincher movie, it was still a great watch. Number 7, Mission Impossible 3. My friend and I started watching the Mission Impossible movies for the first time, and while I enjoyed 1 and 2, Mission Impossible 3 really stuck with me. One big reason is Philip Seymour Hoffman. From the little teaser at the beginning of the movie, to the way he delivers his lines, he is a guy that you do not want to fuck with. As of recording this, we just finished the 5th movie, but Owen Davian is by far my favorite villain. He's pretty much the perfect villain. My only issue is, spoiler, was the way that he was defeated. He just gets hit by a car. It's fine, but I just wish Ethan took him down in a more powerful way, I guess. Another thing I enjoyed was the involvement of Hunt's personal life, just getting married to Julia and then having her be caught by Davian. The countdown from 10 scene goes so hard, oh my god. The tiny bombs implanted in the people's head is also another kick-ass thing added to the franchise. And then the bathroom scene where Ethan gets Davian to read the card, and that's how like the voice mimic stuff works. It's just so neat. Maybe it's just me, but Mission Impossible 3 doesn't feel as action heavy as some of the other movies in the franchise. I think that's what this movie was lacking for me personally. A giant action sequence. The tall tower bit was good, but it went kinda quick. But back to the positives, all of the double crossing in the IMF was pretty cool, but most importantly, the number one thing, this is our first appearance for Benji, so you can't help but love Mission Impossible 3. Number 6, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Now, the fourth Mission Impossible movie is sort of tied with the third one, that's why they're like back to back on this list. I think Ghost Protocol exceeds at everything it tries to do. We have Benji in a bigger role, Jeremy Renner is now in the franchise, the villain is still pretty strong, and of course, there's the Burj Khalifa sequence. It's such an intense scene, it's an iconic moment, climbing that tall ass building and then one of Ethan's gloves dies on him and falls off. Holy shit. Then the little fake meeting they do with the diamonds and the launch codes, it's just so damn cool. Then there's the parking garage finale with the floors going up and down. It's like, in my mind, tied with the Burj Khalifa for my favorite sequence in the franchise. The only flaw with this movie is that Luther is only there for like 2 minutes. Other than that, no huge complaints. Number 5, Our Idiot Brother. This is such a comfy movie. Paul Rudd is just full of joy almost the whole entire movie. His energy is just so infectious, but you can also see where his sisters are coming from when he's, like, interrupting their lives. I just love the entire cast. Everyone plays their part so well. Adam Scott, another one of my favorite actors, is in here for a bit. The story is simple, but seeing Ned unintentionally start up drama with everyone is so damn funny. The moment where enough is enough for Ned during game night with his family was surprisingly like a really intense scene. This super mellow guy just like loses it for about a minute and it's like, wow, was not expecting that. Also, his dog Willie Nelson being a big factor throughout the movie was really cool. I really enjoyed Our Idiot Brother. I went in expecting like a solid comedy, but I ended up just falling in love with it. It was number 1 on this list for like half the month before I watched a few other bangers. Number 4, Edge of Tomorrow. I think Edge of Tomorrow might be my new favorite time loop movie. The typical time loop movie moments are always going to put a smile on my face. Bill finishing everyone's sentences and trying to explain his whole situation to his team. The movie explains why Bill is actually in this cycle, and I think it was really cool. Rita knowing all about the time loop stuff and actually going through it before I thought was a pretty different approach to this kind of movie. The pairing of Blunt and Cruz worked so well in my opinion, I love them together. The aliens that they're fighting look cool as hell. There's a training montage that was pretty fun. Then there's a really cool moment towards the end of the movie where Bill and Rita are like kind of stuck in the situation and Rita realizes that she and Bill have made it to this point numerous times. It's a nice reveal and there's a bit more to it, but I won't spoil it. Edge of Tomorrow I think is one of the best sci-fi movies that I have seen in quite a while. Number 3, Bone Tomahawk. I heard that Bone Tomahawk was a Western horror movie and I was immediately interested. I'm not too big on slow-paced movies, but this one was an exception. Our 4 main characters go on this journey to go save some townspeople from a cannibal tribe. The dynamic between Hunt, O'Dwyer, Brooder, and Chicory is so damn enjoyable. They all have their distinct personalities, and they're a group that you really want to root for. Mainly for me, it was Patrick Wilson. His character starts off the movie with a damaged leg, and he has to go on this like several day long journey to get to his wife. At one point, all he can do is crawl, and I was just sitting in my room, just rooting for him and cheering him on. The cannibals in this are absolutely ruthless. There's one extremely violent death towards the end, and it was pretty hard to watch. There's so many cool elements stuffed into this one movie. I had a really great time with Bone Tomahawk. And as a nice little treat, Sid Haig and David Arquette make a small little appearance in this, so, that was pretty nice. Number 2, War of the Worlds. Borderline a perfect sci-fi movie right here. We have some high stakes. Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise. Cool-ass alien machine things, and a very suspenseful string of events as the movie winds down. I was on the edge of my seat the entire movie, and I was absolutely loving this thing. The only thing that keeps it from being perfect and receiving a full 5 stars are the kids. Oh my god, the kids in this movie pissed me off. Especially Robbie. Fuck Robbie. Rachel gets a small pass because Dakota Fanning was really good at playing this annoying little girl, but Robbie constantly shitting on his dad and trying to go do his own thing was getting on my nerves. At the end of the movie, he goes off to help fight off the invaders, and I was like, good, hope you have fun. I was actually kind of bummed that he survived. I don't know what that says about me, but whatever. The damage all of the aliens cause is probably my favorite part of the movie. The house is being destroyed, a giant plane falls out of the sky, the way they just turn people into ash. When Tom Cruise first encounters them and he's covered in people's ashes was such a sick moment. This was very close to being number 1. Tom Cruise has popped up on this list like 4 times now, so I think it's safe to say I've been enjoying his work. And number 1, Briggsby Bear. Briggsby Bear was such a weird but feel-good movie. It's a movie about a guy obsessed with a fake TV show that his kidnappers made. He was abducted when he was a little kid, and when he's finally back with his real family years later, all he can think and talk about is Briggsby Bear. Even though he's a little awkward due to his past, pretty much every character is fairly nice to him and understanding. He ends up working on a proper ending to the show by making a movie with his new friends. It's super heartwarming, and it's sort of like a love letter to just being creative or working on a passion project. Briggsby Bear just made me so happy. Just a big goofy smile on my face when it was over. Kyle Mooney plays the character James so well. A bit weird, but with a positive energy surrounding him as he just wants to make his Briggsby Bear movie. We also get Andy Samberg in this movie for like 30 seconds, but every time he was on screen, I was having a good time, and I enjoyed his character. It has a very satisfying ending, and I just want James and his family and friends to be happy. I hope he and Spencer are still making movies together. Everybody needs to be talking about Briggsby Bear. More people need to go check this thing out. If you're ever feeling down, this is such a good movie to watch. And there you go, that was my top 10 favorite first-time watches from the month of April, my birthday month. I watched about a movie or two a day, so I got my fill, and I watched tons of good movies, so I was very happy to share 10 of those with you. If you've seen any of these, let me know your thoughts on them in the comments, and let me know what you watched last month that you really enjoyed. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.